In our English studies lesson today, we'll be looking at adverbial clauses. I repeat, adverbial clauses. Before we go into the learning objective, I remember I gave you an homework that you should write a composition about yourself, myself. I received so many composition, and I want to say, good job you, well done. So, to the learning objective of today's lesson. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to define adverbial clause and identify types of adverbial clauses. Now, let's introduce the lesson. What is an adverbial clause? An adverbial clause answers the questions how, when, where, or why. How, when, where, or why. That is what adverbial clause answers to. When anything that comes with how a thing is done, when a thing is done, where it is done, or why it was done, then we're looking at adverbial clauses. Let's move on. There are different types of adverbial clauses. Let's look at the various types of adverbial clauses that we have. The first one is adverbial clause of manner. Adverbial clause of manner. This tells us how the action, you know what an action is in a sentence? That is the verb here. It tells us how the action of the main clause was performed. I said it before, I said it answers how, when, where, and why. So, adverbial clause of manner talks about how the action of the verb or action of the main clause was performed. Let's have examples. He did the work as fast as he could. He did the work as fast as he could. As fast as he could is the adverbial clause of manner in the sentence. Why did we say that? Because it tells us how the work was done. As fast as he could is the adverbial clause of manner because it explains how the work was done. Another example, he spoke to me as if he were the boss. He spoke to me as if he were the boss. What is the adverbial clause of manner here? Yes, you're right. As if he were the boss is the adverbial clause of manner because it tells us how the person spoke. Maybe the person said, you, come here. Yes, follow me. Yes, he spoke as if he were the boss. And as if he were the boss is the adverbial clause of manner. Another type of adverbial clause or adverbial clauses is the adverbial clause of time. Adverbial clause of time. It tells us when, I repeat, when the action was performed. And it is usually introduced by words such as when, until, while, after, before, and whenever. Well done, children. All this are talking about time. When, until, while, after, before, and whenever. Let's have examples. The pupils stopped talking when the head teacher entered the class. The pupils stopped talking when the head teacher entered the class. When did the pupils stop talking? Here. Deji, you're right. Good job, you. I heard you. When the head teacher entered the class, it tells us the time the pupils stopped the talking. So the adverbial clause of time in the sentence is the one color-coded in red. That is when the head teacher entered the class. Well done. Another example, my father brought some money after I had written a letter to him. My father brought some money after I had written a letter to him. This tells us what happened after a letter was written to the father. That is the time. The time the father brought the money, it was after a letter had been written to him. Another type, that is adverbial clause of place. Adverbial clause of place. This is telling us about where an action takes place. It tells us where the action takes place. And it is introduced by words such as where or wherever. Let's repeat it together. Where or wherever. Thank you. Examples are, the first one, I asked him where he was going. I asked him where he was going. What is the adverbial clause of place in that sentence? Yes, where he was going. The second one, kangaroos go wherever they can get food. Kangaroos go wherever they can get food. The adverbial clause of time of place there is wherever they can get food. I believe you are with me and you are giving me your full attention. Well done. Another type is the adverbial clause of reason or cause. Adverbial clause of reason or cause. What is that talking about? It tells us why the action took place. It is usually introduced by words such as because, since, and has. It just answers the question why. Let's have examples. They didn't go to school since the coronavirus pandemic. He came here because he needed some help. Why did he come here? He came here because he needed some help. Now it's activity time. I want to see how attentive you have been in the course of the lesson. Please indicate whether these sentences are expressed in the adverbial clause of manner, time, place, reason, or cause. So just to write the answer after every sentence. You don't need to write the sentence. Just tell me number one, maybe adverbial clause of manner, two, clause of time, and so on. So let me read the sentences to you. He failed the examination because he didn't study to pass. 2. I told her to meet me where I described for her. 3. Kindly meet me in my office before 12 p.m. 4. Do the work as fast as you can. And number 5. She didn't go to school since she was ill. You are going to state whether they are expressed in the adverbial clause of manner, time, place, reason, or cause. You have just 1 minute to do that, and your time starts now. Eyes on me. I believe you've been able to express the sentences stating their types of adverbial clauses. Now, let's see how correct you are. Wow. Oh, so many of you are saying wow, wow, wow. How many did you get correctly? Let's see. He failed the examination because he didn't study to pass. That is an adverbial clause of reason or cause. You can see that. I told her to meet me where I described for her. What type of adverbial clause is that? Clause of place. Where I described for her. Adverbial clause of place. 3. Kindly meet me in my office before 12 p.m. That is adverbial clause of time. Before 12 p.m. Stating time. Number 4. Do the work as fast as you can. Adverbial clause of manner. And the last one, she didn't go to school since she was ill. Adverbial clause of reason or cause. How many of you got the 5 correctly? Fine. Good. Then you need to be celebrated with a chair. Now to Auntie Fumi's heartbeat. Homework. Indicate whether adverbial clause of manner, place, reason, or cause. Indicate whether these sentences are expressed in the adverbial clause of manner, time, place, reason, or cause. 1. I will follow my mom wherever she goes. I will follow my mom wherever she goes. 2. Do not come home until you see the man. Do not come home until you see the man. 3. She washed the clothes hurriedly with little effort. I take that again. She washed the clothes hurriedly with little effort. 4. I rewarded him because he made me proud. And the last one, I asked him where he kept the books. You know what is at stake if you do your homework. Definitely you'll get packs of Good Life Magic Juice. We've come to the end of the English Studies lesson for today. I will now hand you over to the mathematician, Uncle Agbaje, for the mathematics lesson. Well done, children. You know I'm always proud of you.